Hello everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back to my channel. I hope you enjoyed our Magazine Monday yesterday, if you were able to catch it. If not, pop back and have a look, it's well worth it. So today, we're going to be starting a new series. We're going to be starting, oh that shouldn't be on screen. We are going to be starting a Valentine series. Now sometimes there'll be cards, sometimes they might be gift bags or boxes. But today, we're going to do a Valentine's card and we're going to make this from scratch. Now I know that sometimes sounds a bit scary, but don't worry, it's not as scary as it might sound. And if you want, we are going to be doing a little bit of drawing. And if you don't fancy drawing it freehand or without a guide, do feel free to screenshot my drawing. I'll leave it on the screen for a few seconds so that you can screenshot it if you want to. But to start off with, we're going to put a bit of colour on our background. Now if you don't want to do this part, if you don't want to put a colour, if you want to leave it white or if you want to use a different colour card, that's absolutely fine. But this isn't going to take long, so I'm not going to spend hours doing this because the battery will run out on my camera for one thing. So all we're going to do, I'm going to start in the corner and I'm just using an ordinary red pencil, colouring pencil. It's actually a watercolour pencil, but we're not going to water this in today. All I'm going to do is use it to put a bit of colour on the background, and if we miss a bit, if we leave a few bits of white, that's absolutely fine too. So this bit isn't going to take very long at all. So I'm just going to very quickly put well, I suppose you would call it a colour wash if we were doing it in paint, but I'm not going to be doing it in paint, so we'll call it a colour layer, shall we? So very quickly, we're just going to give this white card a colour. We're not obliterating the white. We're just taking some of it off. You can obliterate it if you want to. You could put another mat over it if you really wanted to. But as we're going to be drawing, you can stamp this if you want to. You don't have to do the drawing. But for this, I wanted it a specific shape and size. So that's why I decided to draw it. So there's our colouring done. How long did that take? Just over 2 minutes. That's not bad, was it? That's including my prattle at the beginning. So there we go. So that's that bit done. Now here comes the drawing, and we're going to draw a volcano. Now don't get too worried about that. Now when you think about a volcano, what shape do you think of? I think of a triangle. We're not going to do an absolute triangle, but it will be a sort of triangular shape. So we're going to start from about there, and I'm just going to come down to the edge like that. And then I'm going to do the same on that side and leave it there. It's a sort of triangle. We're not going to put it right up to the top because that would make it a mountain. So I'm going to leave it there, and then what I'm going to do, rather than make it into a perfect triangle, I'm going to dip it like that. Just it's more like almost a semicircle. So I will make the drawing a bit heavier. Now you don't have to do this when you draw your own. You can make your pencil line a lot lighter. This is just so that you can see how it's done. Now, if you want to screenshot that instead of doing your own, please feel free to do so. What I will do, just for a second or two, I'll bring that in just for you. Leave it there. So if you want to take a screenshot of that and draw your own from that, you're perfectly welcome to do so. So there you go. So I'm going to bring it down, push that out just a tiny bit, and actually there was one minor line that I forgot, but this is easy. You won't have any trouble with this at all. All I'm going to do is do a little line like that. That's for the overflow, so that can just be freehand. It can be as wobbly or as straight or anything you like. It's a freestyle one. Now I'm going to have my volcano a grey colour, so again you can use any colour. If you've got a stamp of a mountain, what you could do is stamp it and then just chop the top off and dip it. So you can do it whichever way you find easiest. Now I'm going to go over this. If it mixes slightly with the red underneath, that doesn't really matter too much. This is a Pitt pen, but again, you use whatever you've got in your stash. So as I say, we are going to do this from scratch. We're going to have a few bits and pieces popping out the top, and I've got a really brilliant sentiment. So even if you're not interested in that Valentine's card, if you don't do Valentine's, that's fine. you can always adapt this for somebody else. Now, some people, one of my dearest friends, she is intentionally and very stubbornly single, so she doesn't have a partner. But what she does do, she makes Valentine's cards for her mum, because her mum looked after her when she was a little girl, because she was so, well, as all good mums do, but this particular person was very poorly when she was little, and her mum had to give up a lot of her time to look after her. And so every year she makes her mum a Valentine's Day card, just to show her that she still loves her and appreciates everything she's done, which I think is lovely. I couldn't see my mum appreciating that if she was still alive, but there you go. So we're going to carry on doing that, and I'm just going to, quite roughly, because mountains and volcanoes are quite rough, they're certainly not smooth, because some people, well, not so much volcanoes, but mountains, some people climb. So I'm just going to very quickly colour that in, and you can probably guess the colour I'm going to do for the bit that's dripping off. So, and then when we finish this colouring, and we've finished the bits that are coming out the top, I'm going to show you my sentiment, and we're going to stick the sentiment on. So we're going to finish this off very, very quickly. So there you go, there is our volcano. It's quite nice actually, doing this in real time, as they call it, and watching it build up, because it's really good fun. Now, for the bit that drips over, I'm going to do red. Now, it's not blood, so those are a bit squeamish and thinking, is it blood? Is it one of the old Victorian Valentines with blood dripping? No, it's not. It's red is because it's the colour of love. So, and you'll see why the red will make more sense when we do the next bit, which we'll be doing immediately after this bit. So again, because it's pouring down or running down, it doesn't matter if it goes over the line, that's fine, because quite often lava does. Because it's a natural matter, it will, or a natural material, it tends to go wherever it wants to. So there we go. And the reason we are doing red is because I have got some hearts. I've die cut some hearts. This is the only thing I've die cut. And I've got some, I've used my nesting dies, I've used my Creative Crafts nesting dies. And what I'm going to do, I've got a couple of the larger ones and about 3 of the smaller ones. I've just used the smallest die in the set and the second smallest die. And what I'm going to do with the larger ones, I should say, I'm just going to cut off, we're not going to use the top, we're going to use the bottom. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to curve that a little bit like that. So it looks like it's coming out from inside the volcano. So I'm going to use a bit of the bookbinding glue, the Creative Crafts bookbinding glue. In fact, I'll probably only use one of these. So we're just going to put a blob of glue on there like that. And we'll have it, that's coming out, not quite from the centre, but about there I think will do. And so it's coming out from there, and now I'm not going to, I've got 2 other of the same size, but I'm not going to use those. Unless I have a heart, shall we have a heart coming down? Shall we have 2 hearts coming down? Oh, why not? Let's go for it, it is Valentine. So what we're going to do, let's use them, why not? I hadn't planned to do that, but hey ho. That's the beauty of crafting, you can change your mind on the go, which I do all the time. So we're going to have, might as well use them, we're going to have these 2 hearts pouring over. So we're going to have hearts pouring out of our volcano, which I think is really nice. Which is why they're red. So that makes sense of our red. It'll also make sense of this size. So just hold it down and wipe any excess glue. And now I'm going to use the 3 little ones. And I should have brought my tweezers with me because they're really hard to pick up, but never mind, we'll manage. Do you know what I'm going to do? What I'm going to do, I should say. I'm going to put 1 there, and about 1 there. So that might be easiest to do. Put the glue on first. And then just stick them down. It doesn't matter if they're not facing down, because they do float. It doesn't matter if they're not entirely straight. You can put these however you like. I'm going to have that one there, I'm just going to hold them down a bit and wipe the glue off, but it will dry clear. This type of glue will dry clear, so I'm not too bothered about the glue splurging over the side. And I've just got one more little heart there, and we're going to stick that down, if it'll stay. Without trouble with doing this, you get glue all over your fingers, but that's all right. So we've got our hearts dripping down and floating out of the top. Now, as I promised, I have got a really cool sentiment, so I'm going to turn it over first, and I'm on the back. I've got some foam pads, just 2 foam pads. I did it on the back first and I made it too big, so I've turned it over again and wrote it again. I've just handwritten this because I very much doubt that you'll find a stamp that says this. You might do, but I doubt it. So I've put "I lava you," which I thought was a really cool way of doing it. I'll let you into a little secret. That wasn't my idea. I saw something similar to this on a cross-stitch design. Now, I don't do cross-stitch. I haven't got the patience for it. But I liked the sentiment, "I lava you." And so I redesigned it to my own doing and decided to make a card out of it. So there you go. There is our first Valentine's project. We've got our volcano, we've got our hearts spilling out of the side and drifting off into the air, and "I lava you." I think that is so cool. So I hope you've enjoyed that, our first one. I will be doing the next one on Friday. But if you're a member of our Crafty Capers with Dawn Facebook group, please do pop in tomorrow, because tomorrow we'll be doing our first Wednesday Wonder. And I'll be showing you how you can design your own style of flowers. So if you're not a member of our Facebook group, Crafty Capers with Dawn, do pop over and join us before tomorrow, and you'll be in on it from the beginning. And I will see you then. For those of you who are on our Facebook group, I will see you then. And for the rest of you, I will see you Friday with our second in our series of Valentine's projects. And so until then, until we meet again, take care everybody, have fun, and as always, happy crafting. Bye bye for now.